My original idea with Unlock Your Power and capturing the experience, it's not about the people you chose to work with, it's actually about you. And if somebody's working with me over a 12-month period, so let's just average it to that. There's a whole lot of other things going on in their life. I drop in maybe every 2 weeks to their world for maybe 20 minutes out of that particular day.
Yeah.
Scheme of 12 months, it's not a lot. Even if I added up the hour that I work with their energy as well, you know, it's really such a small component in comparison to all the other variables and all the other lessons that they're learning in that period of time. Because I know that you did a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And it's about all of those pieces coming together. And the only person that's responsible for that would be you. You know, Unlock Your Power is all about an empowerment. Is there any example in your world where it wasn't before?
Unlock Your Power is just one of the things that is happening in the ingredients of this thing called life. You know, the Unlock Your Power and other tools that I'm using are helping me. But there is no doubt, in the 2.5 years since I've been back working, I have worked on and off with you now, and I know the differences, the very subtle but really big differences, taking ownership of my own healing, whatever abilities. So yes, there's a lot going on, but the fact is, Chris, I'm in a team of 4 women, 4 of us, just opening up a new community called Bravery, right, which is all about resilience, and with this Bravery community and 2 other communities I'm with globally, I'm like, that's what I bring. I bring the love. I in my own leadership, I bring the connection, and I ask people to really get to know one another, you know, get to know what they want and what they need, so they become friends. And then from friendship, you know, it's like a business connection might mean 1 or 2 good things for you both, but a friendship is like this bubble of goodness.
Unlock Your Power actually was curating your ability to curate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's empowering, because what it was doing was aligning you back into who you are. The fact that you can articulate so particularly who you are and where you're comfortable, that's empowerment. It's you in alignment. Tell me, what does it feel like to be disempowered? What does that mean for you?
Yeah. For me, it means confused, fuzzy, no ground under me at all, nothing. Everything's moving and shaking. It's very, rather than words, it just feels just so fuzzy, you know? It's like I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what's being said, what needs to happen. Even if in my mind I can hear the words, I can't translate it into actions. That's what it feels like. A big project or a small project, or even creating, I don't know, a birthday party. To be disempowered, it leaves me checked out, just so fuzzy and confused.
You can't fully articulate it, which shows me that you are no longer disempowered, because you actually had difficulty. I could see you reaching for, what is that? When did I last feel that? What does that feel like? So how would you describe the feel of being empowered?
Well, it feels peaceful. I feel like, what does knowing feel like? That's what I want to say. It's like, what does knowing feel like? Like, it feels like it's like fast, ticking things off a list, having people understand you, working in a team with somebody, like, yes, no, thanks, please, do, you know, like a little pinball, ting, 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 movement, momentum. It just feels lovely. Like, it's just like, oh, thanks, no, okay, yeah, it just feels all buzzy and lovely.
The difference in your energy of when you describe those two, I think, are just magical. We've talked about empowerment, and we're obviously talking about Unlock Your Power program, but I want to break down some of the components of the Unlock Your Power program, because I find them really interesting, and they're big topics but I think they're really well represented when we can put a real life example on them. So if we talk about the principle of wanting, which is the first one that we deal with, can you give me an example of your principle of wanting?
Okay, the one that's most important, close to my heart, and that that is actually happening is so I've always loved being in teams. If you ask me what I loved most was sales and mentoring and being a part of a team, that. And then, being sort of 5 years out of an organization as a freelancer consultant and really not being in a team, just being on my own, for years, I have wanted to actively be in a team, because I really wanted to be in a team and I was lost as to why that wasn't happening. There were no answers. That starts to have you feel heartbroken because I'm used to saying I want something, going and achieving it. So it was completely hidden from my view, and I know you know this. It was completely hidden, but I wanted this kind of lifetime of like working together type. I really did. It's like a little girl in me. I want us to work together and build something amazing, but I wasn't even getting like my foot in the door. So wanting it and wanting it and wanting it, and putting it out there. And this whole year, if I just talk about 2 projects in particular, one project that I worked on for 2.5 years completely realized its community. There's a on the ground, robust, loving, measurable team in place, and I'm a part of it, shaping it, consulting to it. People teaching me things, like I'm part of that team ongoing, and that looks like it's never going to end. Long-term vision. And then the other one has just been realized, just launched last week, the Bravery community. It is exactly what we wanted, like exactly. It happened last week, the first event, and you can see clearly all of our roles, the 4 of us, and how we brought that together. And that's the magical part.
So all of you were able to come together and just go, that's exactly, like the outcome is exactly what you wanted. So what if I asked you about the principle of desire? Where does that show up in the Bravery community?
So for me, I have learned that I thrive in calm, connected, inquiring spaces. If I'm in a space with other people and it's calm, connected as in, we're all there for the same reason and we want to explore questions. So I have a deep desire for people to use their brains and critically think about what's going on. That's my core, like right inside of me. And I know that just calm, connected spaces with some curious questions, that's where my growth is.
So I love what you've said about your capacity to be in alignment with your desire. But to take it one step further, the principle of desire is also about clearing the pathway to all that can be desired. We just know what road we need to take. We just know that that's where we've got to go and the pathway is clear and therefore it's easy. Is that something that the Bravery community actually opens up, not only for you, but for everyone involved?
The Bravery, the word, is an acronym that one of the team came out with. It just sort of fell out of her, as things do. And Bravery stands for bold, resilient, action, aligned action, vulnerability, evolving, receptive, or being receptive, and then yes to life, or where are you using your yeses and nos. It's really lovely. It's just this conversation piece. And so what's happened is, by us taking it out there and holding these conversations, we had our first event last week, an evening of bravery, where women around a table shared their understanding of bravery, what it means to be brave in their life, where they've been brave in the past. And it's just that calm, connected space where we're asking gentle questions. And we know that there's a lot of peace for a woman to come in and think. Mostly women don't need help. They need space to, just be with their thoughts and their brilliant minds. So
that is actually the principle of desire completely at play, because you are opening up the path for the desire that isn't even articulated yet.
And unlocking. I just got that little word right at the end then. I'm like, oh yeah. Like, we unlocked all these thoughts, because like literally women within like half an hour were going, oh, I know what you mean. Yes. And of course, all this questioning and openness and curiosity. There was not like, oh, I'm stuck. It was, oh yeah. And there was such a lightness around it. So now you've said it like that, unlocking all these desires that we don't even know what they are yet is super exciting.
Awesome. So then we move to the principle of love, which I think you've already articulated, because that's not only like, it's obvious in you, and I'm going to draw back on the way you described feeling empowered. The enthusiasm in your body literally expressed it. So that's awesome. So the law of attraction is all of that. It's who you're attracting in, the fact that you're attracted to this group of women, even the fact that bravery has been attracted into all four of you. This law of attraction feels really, really good in this description. But the next one that I know you love is the principle of relationship. Curious to know, being that the principle of relationship is not about relationships, not as in my relationship with you or your relationship with me. It's about what we do in the space between that relationship. So, as an example, when we sit down on a chair, we have a relationship to the chair. I feel comfortable, I feel uncomfortable. We still stay sitting in the chair, whether we feel uncomfortable or not uncomfortable. That's the principle of relationship. So where do you see the principle of relationship working, feeling very gentle and easy?
And this was for women. We all have businesses. So coming together and trusting and allowing, and even with the niggles and not sure and, oh God, this sort of sensation of like, you want to overplan or control. I mean, I definitely felt that, and then there was just this, not really just letting go completely, but just like this complete, like, it's all fine. Yeah. And the four of us gently letting the other know that it's okay. Like, I see what you see, I'm feeling it too, and we're going to be okay. Let's go over that. Like, there's lots of checking in with each other. Like, do you need me to say that bit first? Because we didn't want to rehearse it, right? It's facilitated. But there's four of you that have never done an event together before. So you do want to be respectfully, in sync. There's a duty of care there that, you've got your stuff together. A woman showed up about 20 minutes early as we were preparing the candles and all that. And in the moment, I did, I wanted to get up and start faffing and fussing and, should I give her the event link and should I tell her this? And I just sat there and I went, just take a seat and have a cuppa and just feel into the space and see what happens. That just kept on going throughout the whole event. It was so important for us and for them to see that level of ease and just like, let's just see what happens. We're just exploring.
That's the grounding and aligning. Often when I talk about grounding and aligning, when we think of that idea, we think, we have to be very conscious about being grounded and we have to be conscious about being aligned. But the whole point of it is that we don't actually have to think about being grounded and aligned. It just is. There's no push and shove and tug of war in it. It just exists. And then, of course, the last session we always do is integration, which just wraps everything up very nicely and makes sure that all of those things integrate. But it's such a lovely example to see you. It's not that when we did Unlock Your Power, we went, we'll do this so that you can go and create a community. But it is absolutely joyous to see all of those principles and all of that we captured in Unlock Your Power for you personally in your energy, for it to now be being transported out into the world for more people to benefit from.
Yeah, and it is, and the last, remember we talked about sacrifice.
Oh, yes, we do have the law of sacrifice in that last one, yes.
And I loved it because you're a little bit cryptic along the whole way. I mean, it's just, you gave me enough that I needed to go to the next stage, basically. And I've learned I love spontaneity and surprise and like some of my favorite things. But the interesting thing, so you just asked me that question about in relationship, like where is it easier? Because I am noticing that I can still go to, ground and aligning, like I have to do something. It is that push and pull or that tug or what you do. Like, we don't really know that we can just be it. And So why I said that was my sacrifice, or what I was sacrificing was, remember, I was like, what is it? What is it? And then I just went, oh, myself. It's myself. I'm sacrificing myself. And it was such a relief to get that. And what I know, so I only finished my Unlock Your Power about April time this year. So we're in December. And really, I've lived as much as I can as myself. So I noticed that's not Kelly. Quite funny. I'm like, what I meant to say was this, or how I meant to be was this. So there's this like really fun space to adjust myself, which is really nice. There's the power to adjust myself. And that's the real special thing. I'm not sacrificing myself. I'm saying I need this and I can take up space, and it feels really lovely. I mean, I don't know how well that will translate to other people, but I think that you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't have in your life until you've done the work to achieve it. And then you go, wow, like I wasn't asking for what I wanted from people.
Yeah, and at the time you think you are, until you experience it differently, you can't know that it can be different. To understand that feeling, you just have to feel it, like you've just explained. And I think you've said it really well. We just used a couple of little snippets of examples, but I know that there are many other examples that have been playing out in your world where you are choosing you and you're no longer sacrificing yourself. I just think it's amazing to watch what is growing. And it's not growing because you've added more into you. You're growing because you're using what's already in you.